we are entering into the next session, and this session is talking about selection. We have already seen in the process of staffing, after manpower planning, it happens recruitment, and once recruitment is over, selection comes. Now, what is selection? That is what we are going to learn in this session. We will be learning about what is selection and the process of selection, some of the steps in the process of selection. So, we start with the session. What is selection? Selection is identifying and choosing out of the prospective candidates who have applied in the step of recruitment, because recruitment was talking about encouraging prospective candidates to apply for the job, where everyone was given a choice. Everyone who fulfills the requirement what is being set by the organization was able to put forward their application. But when we are coming on to selection, selection becomes a process where if in an organization where it requires 10 candidates, it can be said that every time it will not receive just only 10 applications, it can receive more than that. It can receive more than that. So, what we have to do is that if 20 or 30 has applied, we have to find out the best 10 out of that. In that case, the process or the step of selection helps, because selection is concerned with identifying and choosing out of prospective candidates who have applied, or choosing and identifying from the pool of candidates, choosing and identifying and choosing out of the pool of candidates, identifying and choosing out of the pool of candidates. That is what is being said, out of the prospective candidates who have applied in the step of recruitment. Now, what you have to understand is that it is a negative process. It's a negative process because selection is concerned with the judgment of performance potential of the candidates through various steps in the selection. Through various aspects in the selection, we are trying to find out whether the candidate is perfectly fit for the job. Looking at his experience, looking at his skill, looking at his knowledge, we are trying to identify who is best, and only the best is being selected, rest is being rejected. So, there is elimination of candidates in this step of staffing. So, this step is called as a negative process. Selection is a negative process because there is elimination. It's a negative process because every stage includes elimination. So, selection, to put in simple words, it is choosing from among the pool of candidates, choosing the best from among the pool of candidates. So, that is what is the meaning of selection. Now, selection is not a very easy task. It has to go through various steps. To get the best, we cannot just pick out the best in a very easy mode. It has to go through various stages, various steps, and we are going to see the process of selection. Now, the process of selection starts with preliminary screening. Preliminary screening. Now, what is preliminary screening? The screening done for the first time, or basic screening which is being done. And here what they are doing is that they are looking at the application forms. They are looking at the application forms which is being sent to the organization, and based on the information on the application, it eliminates unqualified or unfit job seekers. So, based on the information given in the application, they are rejecting the persons with the said persons who is not having the said qualifications. I shall remember when I sent an application for a post which they wanted arts graduate, where I was a commerce graduate. They just rejected that application because I was a commerce graduate. They were looking forward for an arts graduate because based on the application form, based on the information given on the application form, they will reject those persons who are found to be unfit. So that has been done, preliminary screening, basic screening on the basis of the application form information. After that, few will be the remaining. Now there comes the next step, that is the selection test. That is the selection test. Selection test is a mechanism to measure certain characteristics, measure some characteristics of the persons who have applied for. It's a mechanism. It can be pen and paper test, or it can be in other ways also. So it's a mechanism whereby the organization is trying to identify whether some particular characteristics are there in the candidates who have applied for the job. Many type of tests are used. Intelligence test is one of the tests, where they are trying to find out the IQ level. Intelligence quotient is being checked. Again, aptitude test. Aptitude test is always concerned with checking out whether the candidate is capable of learning something new. Again, personality test. A personality test is checking out the total characteristic of total behavior of the candidate, the emotional level, or how the person responds, how they are speaking, the language skill, everything will be tested. So in total idea of a person's character is being assessed through personality test. Trait test. Trait test is checking the existing knowledge of the candidate. Trait test, for example, if a person is applied for a post as a welder, maybe welding test can be conducted, whether he knows to weld properly. So that is trait test. Existing knowledge is being measured. Interest test. That test is being used to find out whether the candidate is having some special areas of interest. So such kind of various areas are being assessed, various characteristics are being assessed. The mechanism we used for that is termed as selection test. That is the second step in the process of selection. So there also we will measure the characteristics, and those persons whom we found not fitting, there also elimination happens, and remaining persons are called for an interview. Employment interview is conducted. Employment interview is a personal interview or formal face-to-face. Nowadays we cannot say that it is face-to-face, but still face-to-face in-depth conversation between interviewer. Interviewer will be the organization's representative, managers. It is an in-depth conversation between interviewer and interviewee. Interviewee will be with the person who have applied for the job. There, both of them are trying to find out the details, maximum details regarding the person as well as the organization. So it is a formal in-depth conversation between interviewer and interview, between the organization's representative and the applicant. There they are trying to get the maximum information from the person itself, and usually this is being done to find out a person's suitability for the job. So that is also another thing. Now it comes to the next step. There also, after employment interview also, those persons whom the organization is not satisfied with is being eliminated, and there again few more will be remaining. There comes references and background check, references and background check. References and background check is with the purpose of verifying the information what is being provided by the candidate, whether it is true, whether it is full, all those things, and to get some additional information about the candidate. Usually a person who is suggested as reference must be a person who is known to the organization and a person who knows the applicant. So through that way the organization is trying to gain maximum information and verify the information which is being provided by the applicant. So these were the 4 steps. Again, few more steps are there.